We have more breaking news on this Friday night. Secretary of State Marco Rubio now ordering the U.S. to immediately stop almost all foreign aid and supplies, pending a review. That according to an internal State Department cable obtained by NBC News. Two notable exceptions here, Israel and Egypt. The State Department did not immediately return our request for comment. We want to go now to NBC Pentagon correspondent Courtney Cubie, who's following this. Courtney, what more do we know about why the Secretary of State is out with this order right now? And you mentioned that there's an exception, we believe, for Israel and Egypt. But what about Ukraine?
Yeah, so one thing is very clear in this order, and it is coming directly from the top. This is one of the executive orders that President Trump signed literally in his first hours after being inaugurated this week. And it was this idea that the U.S. would halt, temporarily at least, all foreign aid grants and not grant any new ones for a period of 90 days. Now, this, as I said, it's coming directly from President Donald Trump, but we're learning a little bit more about it today. The way that now Secretary of State Marco Rubio has implemented this to the State Department force around the world is by saying that there would be exceptions for, as you said, specifically military financing. So foreign military sales and financing for Egypt and Israel. And then there's also an exception for humanitarian emergencies. So that means that if you have a location where there is humanitarian aid, emergency disaster aid going to a place, that will continue in some cases. And in addition to that, Tom, the salaries of the people who will be distributing that, working to help with that humanitarian aid, they will also continue to be paid, including local people on the ground in those locations. So we know now that those are the exceptions. But you asked about Ukraine. It's not 100% clear at this point. Right now, as it is written, there is no indication that Ukraine will have any kind of an exception. They could go without this foreign aid for a matter of up to 3 months, Tom.
Can I ask you about the most recent tranche of money that the Biden administration pushed through? The numbers, there are so many numbers out there. It was something like $200 billion in more aid. Will that go through if the money is already in the pipeline, as it were, or are they shutting off the pipeline even if money's in the pipeline?
So it's going to depend on where in that pipeline it is, frankly, which is just to make it all the more confusing. So some of the money has already gone forward, but it's not clear what happens. As it is written right now, everything is literally paused where it is. So if that ends up being implemented literally to the letter, then it's possible that not all that money will end up even going to Ukraine. But again, we're still asking questions, trying to figure out exactly how this will manifest for each of these specific situations, Tom. As of now, I got to say, it looks like it's getting halted.
It's getting halted.